Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another important City 360 series session in which we cover the important G and DSI current affairs from examination point of view. And today my dear friends, we are going to cover the important current affairs of 3rd to 4th of July 2025. So I hope that I am audible and visible to all of you. And if you are someone who is preparing for RBI, NABARD, SEBI or banking examinations like IBPS PO, SBI PO, then these sessions are your one-stop solution for your current affairs preparation of these particular examinations. And let me tell you that we are conducting these sessions across the three stages. In the stage 1, we basically revise the important aspects and the dimensions of the previous session, followed by covering the important details and the current affairs of the 3rd to 4th of July, that is the date which is mentioned here. And after that, at the end of the session, basically the third stage is solving the MCQs, because in the examinations we are supposed to solve the MCQs, right? So how exactly to solve them and what are the different things that we need to take care while answering such kind of questions is really very important, and that's why practicing MCQs is a very important exercise of this particular session. I hope that these parts are clear to all of you. Now when it comes to these particular sessions guys, let me tell you that in these sessions we are not just covering the current affairs, but with the help of these sessions we are providing you the understanding that you are also able to make a decision that what you need to cover from the examination point of view and what is not required to cover. What are the different things that you have to cover from the examination point of view, वो कौन से topics हैं, वो कौन से current affairs हैं जो आपके लिए ज़्यादा relevant हैं from the examination point of view और कौन से current affairs relevant नहीं हैं. Apart from that, the people who are preparing for the regulatory bodies exams, तो वहाँ पर उनके पास basically the section is GA and ESI, right? And there are some articles which are only relevant for phase 1 and there are some articles which are relevant for both phase 1 and phase 2. तो उनके बीच में difference क्या है? So all these things we cover in these CT 360 series sessions. So once again, a warm welcome to all of you in the today's session. And when it comes to the today's session, guys, these are the topics that we will be covering here. So you can see there are three reports that we will be covering in the today's session, and the first report is a SDG NIF progress report. Then Hurun Global Unicorn Index and the Global Peace Index 2025. अगर हम यहाँ पर बात करते हैं आपकी phase 1 and phase 2 relevancy की for the regulatory bodies exams, so the first report is directly related to the topics mentioned in the syllabus, that is sustainable development and environmental issues. So it is important for both phase 1 and phase 2 of the exam. But the remaining two reports are only relevant for the phase 1 of the examination as they are not related to the topics mentioned in the syllabus. And when it comes to the people who are preparing for regulatory bodies, sorry, the people who are preparing for only banking examinations, so all these articles are important and they can be asked in your phase 2 examination, क्योंकि आपके phase 2 exam के अंदर ही आपका जनरल अवेयरनेस का सेक्शन है जहां पर करंट अफेयर्स को पूछा जाता है. आई होप आपको ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्लियर है. अब नाउ आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट आप सभी ने पिछले सेशन के इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स और डायमेंशंस को अच्छे से कवर किया और साथ ही रिवाइज भी किया, क्योंकि अब होगा आपका एक छोटा सा रिवीजन टेस्ट. एंड लेट्स सी कि आपको कितना वो सब याद है जो हमने लास्ट सेशन में कवर किया है. ठीक है, तो शुरू करते हैं. एंड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज ऑन द एली स्कीम. I basically told you about your friend Ellie, which is going to create some certain jobs in our nation, right? So the employment linked incentive scheme was approved with a total outlay of 99,446 crores. And the target of this particular scheme is to create jobs. How many jobs? That is 3.5 crore jobs that we have covered in the previous session, right? And for a period of 2 years. So what exactly is the timeline of the 2 years? That is from 1st August 2025 to 31st of July 2027. That is a timeline. Moving ahead, when it comes to the different parts of the scheme, there are two parts, that is part A and part B, right? So basically in the part A, 1 month's APF wage up to dash. So what exactly is that amount, which is the maximum limit here? That is rupees 15,000. Will be paid to the first time employee in 2 installments. And in the part B, guys, EPF for registered establishments are being focused by this particular scheme. But यहाँ पर एक special sector है जिस पर focus किया जाएगा. What is that particular sector? That is the manufacturing sector. So manufacturing sector is the right answer. So I hope that all these details are clear to everyone. और सभी students ने इस question का आंसर दिया है comment section के अंदर. बढ़ते हैं अपने अगले question की तरफ. That is on the research development and innovation, that is RDI scheme. And here you have to tell me in the first part that what is the financial allocation of this scheme. So what is it? It is rupees 1 lakh crore. That is the right answer. And moving ahead, when it comes to the strategic oversight of this particular scheme, it will be done by the governing board of the Anusandhan National Research Foundation. And who will be chairing this board? This board will be chaired by the Prime Minister of India. So that is the right answer. Moving to the next question. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has approved the National Sports Policy 2025. So we have covered this very important point in the previous session, that what is that policy which will be replaced by the National Sports Policy 2025. That is the National Sports Policy of 2001. So very important point which can be asked in the exam. Next question. So Dash is a comprehensive user-friendly mobile application which brings together multiple railway passenger services on a single platform. What is the name of that particular app? That is Rail One app. Rail One app is the right answer. So I hope कि सभी ने इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर दिया है. Now one more important part here, that the Rail One app is authorized by which entity? That is IRCTC is the right answer. Absolutely right. Moving to the next part. So Dash has been conferred the National Honor of Ghana Officer of the Prime Minister Order of the Star of Ghana. So what is the name? That is Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi ji. That is the right answer. Next question. Central Electricity Authority has partnered for interdisciplinary research in the power and energy sector of our country. With which institute it has partnered? That is IIT Roorkee. IIT Roorkee is the right answer. Next question. Prime Minister has lauded the successful completion of 10 years of Digital India initiative. So on which date this initiative was been established? Under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It was 1st July 2015. That is the right answer. Moving ahead, the Coal Ministry is set to launch Dash, a community engagement and development framework. So we basically talked about the mine closures, right? तो उस पूरे mine closure के transition के अंदर एक engagement और developmental framework को इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा. What is that? That is Reclaim. Reclaim is the right answer. Moving to the last question. So a unified inundation forecasting system जिसको recently launch किया गया, it will be providing 2 days of advanced inundation forecast up to a village level in our country. What is the name? It is Sea Flood. So Sea Flood is the right answer, and it has been created under which mission? National Supercomputing Mission. That's it. So I'm really happy to see that all of you have given me the right answers in the comment section, guys. Now let's move on to the important aspects of the today's session, and the first report that we are going to cover is the SDG National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2025, right? So Sustainable Development Goals National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2025. So guys, before covering this report, it is very important to understand that what is a SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals. So guys, you can see here that Sustainable Development Goals basically are the universal set of these 17 goals which are adopted by all the United Nations member states. In which year? In year 2015. And these goals are basically a blueprint for the peace and prosperity for people and the planet, so that we can achieve a better and more sustainable future. By which year? By which year we are targeting to achieve these 17 Sustainable Development Goals? By which year we are targeting? We are targeting to achieve them by year 2030. So these are these 17 Sustainable Development Goals that we want to achieve by 2030, right? So you can see, and we have already covered these goals in a very detailed manner in the SDG index report, right? So I hope that these SDG goals are very much clear to all of you. These have been adopted by the United Nations member states in 2015, and we have decided a timeline to achieve them, that is by 2030. Okay, now as India, my dear friends, India has also adopted these Sustainable Development Goals. So India was having one question in their mind, that how exactly we can monitor the progress that we have made in adopting and in achieving these Sustainable Development Goals. And that is why some indicators were being created. These indicators were being created to monitor the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, to monitor the progress level of achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. And the group of these indicators is called National Indicator Framework. And this indicator framework provides us the progress of India in achieving these Sustainable Development Goals. And the report that we are today going to cover is SDG National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2025. Now I hope that you will be able to understand what exactly we will be covering in this report. So basically guys, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has released this particular report, and this report is a kind of tool which is helping us in monitoring the national level progress of the 17 sustainable development goals which we have adopted and we are targeting to achieve by 2030. So this NIF serves as the backbone for monitoring the SDGs at the national level, and it offers guidance to these policy makers on the basis of which we can see that whether the programs, the initiatives that we have taken to achieve them, so whether they are in the right direction or not, or we need to change some of them, modify them, so that we can achieve the sustainable development goals successfully. So that is what the major objective of coming up with the SDG National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2025. I hope till now everything is clear to everyone, right? Now my dear friends, moving on to the key highlights of this particular report. And here the first part is the population covered by the social protection system floors. So it has increased from 22% in 2016 to 64% in 2025. तो आप देख सकते हो कि 2016 में it was 22% and it has increased to 64.3% in year 2025. So my dear friends, if we talk about the social protection system or floor, what exactly it means? So it is basically the public program and the policy which has been launched by the government to provide financial security to the vulnerable sections. So हम financial security और essential services जो होती हैं हमारी, जो basic amenities चाहिए एक person को to live their life, बेसिकली नॉर्मल लाइफ जीने के लिए जो हमें सर्विसेज चाहिए, तो वो सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की जाती हैं टू द पीपल अंडर द सोशल प्रोटेक्शन. सो ये जो सोशल प्रोटेक्शन सिस्टम फ्लोर है, इसके अंडर जो पॉपुलेशन कवर हो रही है, इट हैज इंक्रीज from 22% to 64.3% in 2025. So you can see here that almost 3 times यहाँ पर हमने गेन लिया है. Okay, I hope this is clear. Moving ahead to the next part, that is the gross value added in agriculture per worker. So basically it is the output which is being created by this particular sector. इस sector का जो total output है उसमें per worker एक individual worker का क्या contribution है in terms of rupees. So that is what we are trying to identify here. और ये जो gross value addition in agriculture per worker, it has also increased from 61,427 in 2015-16 to 94,110 in 24-25. So basically ये improve बताता है हमें, it reflects that India's agricultural productivity has increased and also the per worker productivity has also increased in India. I hope this part is clear. राइट तो हमें समझ आ गया सोशल प्रोटेक्शन, ग्रॉस वैल्यू एडेड इन द एग्रीकल्चर पर वर्कर. अब हम बात करते हैं परसेंटेज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन यूजिंग एन इंप्रूव्ड ड्रिंकिंग वाटर. सो यहाँ पर ड्रिंकिंग वाटर सोर्स जो है रूरल एरियाज के अंदर अगर हम बात करें, सो इट इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीज द परसेंटेज ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन विच इज ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, which is basically having the water which is improved drinking water. So basically it has increased from 94.57% to 99.62% in 24-25. Again showing that yes, we are moving towards the universal safe water access in our rural regions of the country. So अगर हम आपसे पूछें guys, if the question is being asked in the examination that what exactly is the percentage of the population which is now able to have improved drinking water source in the rural areas, what is that? That is 99.62%. Okay, I hope this is clear. And if we talk about the social protection, so population covered under the social protection in our country has also increased to what percentage? To 64.3% in 25. That's it, that we need to remember here. Moving to the next part, the renewable energy share in the total installed electricity generation. So electricity generation के अंदर renewable energy का कितना share है दोस्तों, ये काफी important है. And this has also increased to 22.13 in 2024-2025. अगर हम renewable energy की बात करेंगे, so these are those natural resources which are replenished on a human time scale, जो खत्म नहीं हो रही है, like solar energy, right? It is replenishable, like wind, rain, tides, waves. So all these are the part of the natural renewable energy, right? So moving ahead, the installed renewable energy generating capacity in the country. तो हमारी जो कैपेसिटी है, एनर्जी जनरेटिंग कैपेसिटी है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के अंदर, तो वो भी हमने यहाँ पर एनहांस की है. एज यू कैन सी दैट अर्लियर इट वाज जस्ट 64.04 watts per capita and now it has increased to 156.31 watts per capita in 24-25. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now the next part is the waste recycling plant. We are basically focusing on having more cleanliness in our societies. तो इसलिए हमने waste recycling plants को बनाया, and we are using the principle of reduce, reuse and recycle, right? So when it comes to these installed plants, the number of these plants have also increased. As earlier it was 829 and it has now increased to 3036 in 24-25. So 2024-25 में the new number of the waste recycling plant is 3036. So if I ask you that what is the enhanced total installed electricity generation in our country, so basically the share of renewable energy in the total electricity generation, so what will be the right answer? That is 22.13 in 24-25, right? I hope this is clear to everyone, guys. So now let's move on to the next part, that is the number of startups which have been recognized under the Startup India. So this has also increased. India के अंदर पहले startup ecosystem नहीं था, but when we have started with a bang. As you can see, in 2016 the number was mere 453 and now it is around 34,293 in 2024. Okay, apart from that, when it comes to the reduction in emissions intensity of GDP, मान लीजिए अगर हम GDP को रुपीस के अंदर काउंट कर रहे हैं दोस्तों, तो जो 1 यूनिट ऑफ GDP है, इसको जनरेट करने के लिए हमने कितना ग्रीन हाउस गैस को एमिट किया, सो दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एमिशन इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द जीडीपी. जीडीपी की एमिशन इंटेंसिटी क्या है, तो उसमें भी हमें रिडक्शन देखने को मिली. दैट मींस अगर हम 2020 से कंपेयर करते हैं 2005 से कंपेयर करें 2020 को, तो 36% का हमारा जो लेवल है वो डिक्रीज हुआ है. सो दैट मींस अब हम पहले से 36% कम ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस एमिट कर रहे हैं in order to produce 1 unit of the GDP. Again, this shows that yes, we are moving towards low carbon economy, and we at India, we have basically set a timeline to become the zero carbon emission free country. By which year? By year 2070. Another important point. Then when it comes to the total number of internet subscriptions, my dear friends, it has also increased, and now you can see that everybody is able to access the internet, and that is how we are also able to take these sessions and we are able to reach you as well. Right? So here it has increased from 302.36 to 954.4 million in 2024. अगर दोस्तों हम बात करते हैं हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंडिचर की, द गिनी कोफिशिएंट ऑफ हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंडिचर, सो रूरल एरियाज के अंदर इट हैज डिक्रीज्ड from 0.283 to 0.237 in 23-24, and in the urban areas also you can see that it has decreased from 0.363 to 0.284. that means यहाँ पर जो अगर हम आपका spending एबिलिटी है जो लोगों की, वो यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा इक्विवेलेंट लेवल पर आने लगी है इन द रूरल एज वेल एज द अर्बन एरियाज. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम हियर, राइट? सो नंबर ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स कितने हो गए हैं? 34,293. और रिडक्शन एमिशन इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द जीडीपी कितना हुआ? 36% हुआ है. एंड द टोटल नंबर ऑफ इंटरनेट सब्सक्रिप्शंस 954.4 million. सो दिस इज नॉट दैट मच इंपॉर्टेंट, बट स्टिल वी कैन see this for the examination point of view. Okay, moving to the last few findings of this report. So the percentage of the waste processed, अभी हमने बात की थी waste processing plants की. What was that number? The number was 3036 plants are now there in our country, right? अगर हम बात करते हैं waste process, जो waste processing है उसकी percentage increase हुई है, decrease हुई है? So it has also increased to 80.7% in 24-25. That means हमारा जो waste management efficiency है country की, that is also enhancing here. After that, when it comes to the forest cover, so the forest cover, that is a percentage of the total geographical area of the country, it has also increased from 20.34% to 21.76%. तो 21.34 से 21.76% पर आ चुका है. That means geographical area भी हमारा increase हो रहा है. That means the country has become more greener in the nature. So these are the most important parts, guys, that we need to understand. This report is released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. SDG नेशनल इंडिकेटर फ्रेमवर्क के बारे में हमने कवर किया डिटेल के अंदर. इनकी की फाइंडिंग्स जो है ये हमने डिस्कस की कि कैसे इंडिया इज बेसिकली इन द राइट डायरेक्शन ऑफ बिकमिंग मोर सस्टेनेबल इन द अपकमिंग टाइमलाइन, राइट? सो व्हेन if even in the examination there is a question on the descriptive writing and it is asking you about India's progress in the sustainable development goals achievement, so definitely you can mention one of the points that we have mentioned along with the name of this particular report. That is really going to add a beautiful part to your answer. Okay, I hope that till now this report is very much clear. And now let's move on to the next report of the today's session. तो दोस्तों ये रिपोर्ट आपके फेज 1 और फेज 2 एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से दोनों के लिए रेलिवेंट है फॉर योर रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज एग्जाम्स. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू द people who are preparing for banking examinations, then again this is relevant for the phase 2 exam. Okay, बढ़ते हैं अपने next important report पर, that is Hurun Global Unicorn Index 2025. So guys, Global Unicorn Index, which basically sees and evaluates that number of unicorns which are there across the world. तो ये यूनिकॉर्न क्या है दोस्तों? यूनिकॉर्न एक प्राइवेटली हेल्ड स्टार्टअप कंपनी है जिसकी वैल्यूएशन $1 बिलियन से ज्यादा हो चुकी है. तो $1 बिलियन को क्रॉस कर चुकी है, जिसकी वैल्यूएशन, उसको हम कहते हैं, उस स्टार्टअप को हम कहते हैं, नाउ इट इज यूनिकॉर्न. So this report has been released by the Hurun Research Institute, and this report has mentioned that now we are having record 1523 privately held startups which have become unicorns. That is an increase of 70 from the last year, right? तो पिछले साल अगर हम देखें तो there were only 1453 and now we are having 1523 startups. Okay, और ये जो यूनिकॉर्न्स हैं, द वैल्यूएशन, द कंप्लीट वैल्यूएशन ऑफ दिस यूनिकॉर्न्स इज $5.6 ट्रिलियन. अगर हम बात करते हैं ओवर ऑल द वर्ल्ड, कौन सी कंट्री के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा यूनिकॉर्न्स हैं? सो दोस्तों इट इज यूएसए, दैट इज यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. और 6, अगर हम टॉप 10 यूनिकॉर्न्स की बात करते हैं उसमें से 6 यूनिकॉर्न्स आपके यूएस बेस्ड ही हैं. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंडिया, इंडिया इज ऑन द थर्ड पोजीशन विद $64 बिलियन स्टार्टअप्स इन आवर कंट्री. और अगर हम बात करते हैं दोस्तों, वो एक सिटी, द सिटी विच इज हैविंग द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ यूनिकॉर्न्स अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. सो बेसिकली वी कॉल इट एज अ यूनिकॉर्न कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, and the name of that place is San Francisco. So if the question is been asked, which country is having the most number of unicorns across the world, that is USA, right? And if I ask you what is India's rank in the number of unicorns, it is third. And if I ask you what is the capital of what is the unicorn capital of the world, then what is the right answer? That is San Francisco. I hope this is clear. Now it is the good time to basically see that what exactly are the top performers, the top rankers in the Global Unicorn Index 2025. The top performer, we know that it is the United States of America with 758 unicorns in 2025. But it is followed by China on the second position with 343 unicorns, and then India on the 64. India is having 64 unicorns in year 2025, followed by UK and Germany on 4th and 5th position. Right? So these are the number of unicorns in the country in 2025. But when it comes to the most unicorns in the cities, so we have covered that unicorn capital of the world is San Francisco. So यहाँ पर दोस्तों इनकी रैंक दी गई है. अगर हम बात करते हैं इंडिया की, तो इंडिया से भी एक सिटी है which is in the top 10. What is that city? Bengaluru. So this can be asked in the examination. So Bengaluru is basically in the top 10 of the cities with the most unicorns across the world. Okay. So now when it comes to India guys, so India के अंदर वो top 3 unicorns कौन से थे जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छी performance रही? So these are Zerodha, Dream11 and Razorpay, which are the notable unicorns of our country in year 2025. So that's it that we need to cover from this particular report. Now let's move on to the next report, that is the Global Peace Index 2025. So दोस्तों हम शांति और अमन की बात करते हैं, हमारे मिनिस्टर्स शांति और अमन की बात करते हैं, राइट? सो उस शांति और अमन को कैसे हम मेजर करते हैं? How exactly we basically measure the peacefulness? So we measure it with the help of Global Peace Index 2025, and this has been released by Institute for Economics and Peace. And this report basically measures the peace on the basis of the 3 areas. And what exactly these 3 areas are? These are societal safety, security, ongoing domestic and the international conflict, and the level of militarization. So that is social safety, societal safety कितनी है, security कितनी है, डोमेस्टिक और इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कैसा है, और मिलिटराइजेशन कितना है एक देश के अंदर, उसके बेसिस पर हम डिसाइड करते हैं हाउ मच पीसफुल दैट पर्टिकुलर कंट्री इज. एंड दिस इज द 19th एडिशन ऑफ द इंडेक्स व्हिच इज बीन रिलीज्ड सिंस 2007. तो 2007 से ये रिपोर्ट रिलीज की जा रही है दोस्तों. ओके, तो ऑन अ स्केल ऑफ 1 to 5 द कंट्रीज आर बीइंग गिवन द स्कोर्स. जितना कम स्कोर होगा दैट मीन्स उतनी ज्यादा ये कंट्री पीसफुल है. अब हम कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट फाइंडिंग्स को कवर करते हैं फ्रॉम द ग्लोबल पीस इंडेक्स 2025. सो ये इंडेक्स दिखाता है कि एवरेज कंट्री पीसफुलनेस की बात करते हैं तो 0.3% 0.36% का ड्रॉप देखने को मिला इन द एवरेज कंट्री पीसफुलनेस। और लगातार 6 साल से हम ऐसा देख रहे हैं कि पीसफुलनेस जो है अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड इट इज डिक्रीजिंग। आप देख सकते हैं दोस्तों दैट यू कैन सी अराउंड रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर। Recently, we have also seen some inflating situations between India and Pakistan, and after that, we have seen Iran and Israel, right? So that's how the peace of the world is getting impacted, right? So basically, we are talking about that peace only. So 0.36% drop we have seen in the average country peacefulness. After that, when it comes to the conflict risk, these are at the highest since World War II. तो World War II के बाद से जो conflict risk की सबसे ज्यादा highest level पर है right now. अगर हम बात करते हैं peacefulness की, तो 7 of the 8 GPA regions have seen that there is a decline in the global peace. तो अगर हम ग्लोबल पीस इंडेक्स पर टोटल 8 रीजन्स को हमने रखा और वहां पर 7 रीजन्स में आपकी पीसफुलनेस डिक्लाइन हुई है, बट यहां पर सिर्फ एक साउथ अमेरिका है जहां पर पीस के अंदर इंप्रूवमेंट आई है। अगर हम बात करते हैं पीसफुलनेस की गाइस, सो बेसिकली 74 कंट्रीज में पीसफुलनेस इंप्रूव हुई है और 87 में डिक्लाइन हुई है। और सबसे जो मेजर बिगेस्ट इंप्रूवमेंट देखने को मिली इट वाज सीन इन अजरबैजान, क्योंकि 17 रैंक्स का चेंज उसने यहां पर देखा गया है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट एक और इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है दोस्तों कि अभी तक सिंस 2013 से लेके अभी तक ग्लोबल पीस इंडेक्स के अंदर वी हैव सीन दैट जो एवरेज स्कोर है, एवरेज कंट्री स्कोर है ऑन द ग्लोबल पीस इंडेक्स, इट हैज डिक्रीज ओनली, राइट? सो टोटल अगर हम बात करें तो 5.4% का डिक्लाइन हमें ग्लोबल पीस में देखा गया है सिंस 2008। सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट गाइस, लास्ट के जो 13 ईयर्स हैं, राइट, पिछले 17 में से 13 साल में हमने देखा है कि ये जो ग्लोबल पीस है ये हमारी डिक्लाइन हुई है, राइट? सो इट इज रियली अ कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न। अगर हम बात करते हैं इंपॉर्टेंट रैंकिंग्स की, तो आइसलैंड इज ऑन द टॉप एंड इट इज ऑन द टॉप सिंस 2008, followed by Ireland, New Zealand, Austria, Switzerland, Singapore. These are the top 5 countries. But when it comes to India, India is on the 115th position with a score of 2.229 and it has improved by 0.58%. अगर हम लास्ट ईयर से कंपेयर करें इंडिया की रैंक, तो लास्ट ईयर 116 थी, नाउ इट इज 115, सो वी हैव सीन अ इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ 0.58%. अगर हम बात करते हैं लीस्ट पीसफुल कंट्री की अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, दैट इज रशिया. सो रशिया हैज बीन प्लेस्ड एट द बॉटम ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स. I hope this is clear. Okay. So अगर हम बात करें guys, if I ask you what is the rank of India in the global peace index, that is 115. Whether we have seen a drop or a increase in the global peace index in the GPI score of India, so we can see that yes, India's peacefulness has increased, right? So now if we talk about the regions here, so Western and Central Europe is the world's most peaceful region across the world, और Asia Pacific region आपका world का second most peaceful region है. And when it comes to the least peaceful region, it is a MENA region. हम इसको MENA region कहते हैं. So basically the full form of MENA is Middle East and North Africa, which is the least peaceful region for the 10th year in a row. And if we talk about the most peaceful country in the South Asia की most peaceful country कौन सी है? That is Bhutan. So guys, with this we have covered all the important details about the global peace index. So किसने launch किया, क्या इंडिया का रैंक है, टॉप पे कौन है, everything we have covered in a very detailed manner. And now it's a time to basically practice the MCQs on this particular reports. So here is the very first question for all of you, that is on the Global Peace Index 2025, which is released by IEP. You need to identify the correct statement. So I always tell you that there are 3 steps to follow whenever you are facing such kind of statement based question. The first thing is to identify the central topic. So here central topic is Global Peace Index 2025. The second thing is to identify the demand of the question. So here we need to identify the correct statement. Third thing is to identify the keywords. So what is the keywords here that we will be seeing here? So Global Peace Index, peace across countries on the 3 core pillars. कौन से 3 core pillars थे? Societal safety and security, presence and intensity of ongoing domestic international conflicts, and overall level of militarization in the region. Absolutely right. So first statement is correct here. Second statement, as per the latest report, India is ranked 115th globally with a peace score of 2.229, representing a marginal decline. Guys, अगर हम बात करें पिछले साल से, तो पिछले साल हमारी जो रैंक थी, जो हमारा स्कोर था, उसमें इंप्रूवमेंट आई है, ना कि डिक्लाइन. So that's why the second statement is incorrect here. Okay, as it says 0.58% deterioration. No, it was an improvement of 0.58%. So these keywords can help you to identify whether the statement is correct or incorrect. Next part, Western and Central Europe remains the most peaceful region in the world, and we have covered it. Yes, this is absolutely right. So statement or so option A will be the right answer, as statement 1 and 3 are correct here. Absolutely right. I'm really glad to see for all the people who have given me the right answer to this question in the comment section. अब हम बढ़ते हैं अपने अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ. That is on the Global Unicorn Index 2025. We need to identify the correct statement. So the topic is Global Unicorn Index. Demand is correct statement. So first question. So first statement. Number of privately held startups globally valued at over $1 billion are 1523. Increase of 70 unicorns. Absolutely right. Second statement. India overtake China. We all know that China is on the second position, India is on the third position. So this statement is incorrect. Third statement, San Francisco continues to maintain its position as the global hub of unicorn startups with 199 such entities. Absolutely right. So again, 1 and 3 is correct. Option C is the right answer. Moving to the next question, guys. So question is on the SDG National Indicator Framework Progress Report 2025, and we need to identify incorrect statement. First statement is basically social protection system increased from 22% to 64.3%. Is it right or wrong? It is right. Second statement, gross value added in agriculture, it is improved to 94,110. This is also right here. Third statement, the share of rural population using an improved drinking water source declined from 99.6% to 94.5%. दोस्तों ये increase हुई है from 94.57 to 99.62. So the values have been switched. That's why third statement is incorrect. Right answer will be option A, that is 1 and 2. So absolutely right, this is the right part. And see, a very important thing, guys. In this question, we have made a mistake. What? We have identified the correct statement, but this is not the right answer. This is the lesson that we have taken from the previous homework question, right? So basically, the incorrect statement we need to identify, and option E is the right answer, as only third statement is incorrect one. So guys, now I am having a homework question for all of you, and this is the question, and I want all of you to answer this question in the comment section, and the people who will be giving me the right answer will be the star performers. So homework question from the previous session, we had a question on the employment linked incentive scheme. The right answer is option E, and these are the star performers from the previous session. Really glad to see your responses in the comment section, guys, and I'm really happy to see that yes, you are appreciating the session as well. That's really good. That shows that yes, we are going in the right direction. Still, if you have something, you can always tell me about the same. So my dear friends, that was all from the today's session, and I believe that today's session was really useful and fruitful to all of you. और इस सेशन का जो पीडीएफ है वो आपको मिलेगा टेलीग्राम चैनल पर, जिसका लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन के अंदर दिया गया है. So now that's all from the today's session. I will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.